I can't remember. I think I was doing something. I think it was the edits, and I was listening to music, so I turned off my mic because I was
Gotcha.
like, I don't want to turn off my music for like the regression fixes.
Right, yeah. I gotcha.
Okay, so
I would have done the same thing.
Wookie, question of the
Yes,
hour.
sir. Uh-huh.
Best. Why are Olive Garden's breadsticks not the best?
They're terrible. They come in pre-made. They're on these like racks, sitting in baggies or whatever. And all the person does, you have one person that has no skills in the kitchen tasked with grabbing bags of breadsticks, opening them on the tray, and just putting them in the oven for the timer set. And then once it comes out of the oven, they lather them with butter with basically a paintbrush and garlic salt, and then throw them in a warmer. That's all there is to it. They don't make them. They're not specific to Olive Garden. It's just a terrible breadstick. I hate them.
Okay, so you don't go Olive Garden. What is your
No.
breadstick or roll or because obviously defining bread as a stick is very limiting. So what is your bread
Yeah.
of choice if you were to go out to a restaurant?
Well, like this is kind of cheating, but like I love yeast rolls. So like a Texas Roadhouse or something like that where they do yeast rolls. That's I'll always go for that. And there's it's the same restaurant family as Olive Garden, but the cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster are freaking
Oh, of
amazing.
course, cheddar. And you see
Yeah.
the boxes and shit at the store. I wish I had more
Yeah,
to add
yeah.
to this conversation. I don't go to like steakhouses or so for Italian places, I think it's overpriced. Make it the same at yourself.
Well, yeah.
And Red
Italian in
Lobster,
general, man.
my
Like I
go ahead.
oh good. No,
Uh,
you go ahead.
I was gonna say with shellfish in general, my problem with paying for it is because it's so expensive at restaurants, and then you have to do
Right.
so much work for it. Like you order crab, then you got to crack open the crab legs and stuff. Yet you're still shelling out, no pun intended, $18 an hour or $18 for
Right.
those crab legs a pound, and it's like you're putting you're putting in a ton of work.
Oh yeah, people go crazy for him. Especially my brother, he's one of them. He if he
Oh
can
yeah.
find a good like crab leg buffet, he's on it.
Oh yeah, I mean I've gone to like a lot of there seems to be like in the last year in Phoenix or year and a half there's been a bunch of like the crawfish boil places open up.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I've checked out a few of those. They're not great, but and again it comes down to like they price everything like market price or whatever, it's bulk price and
Right.
it's like it's a little rough to swallow to that you're paying
Yeah.
that much to feed like four people.
Right, yeah. Somebody like, the more like I learn to cook and everything, some of these restaurants just really aren't worth the price.
Oh, they definitely
That's
bank off like the convenience, which is fine. I
yeah,
I
yeah.
eat, I eat at Wendy's, I eat at McDonald's. I'll stop by for the value menu just to get something in me before a shift because it's like it's 2 o'clock. I'm
Yeah.
getting a little hungry. I won't eat till 8. Like, hey, let's push it a little bit. But yeah,
Oh yeah. Most definitely. And like Italian in general, man, like it's my wife's favorite, but like I know how to cook it. And not just from Olive Garden. I learned a lot from like restaurants before then. I've worked in kitchens since I was 14, so like
oh, okay.
a lot like Alfredo, like I made it last night. Homemade Alfredo pasta, like it's Italian's easy. You just gotta know how to make it.
And throw spaghetti
So
on the
like
wall.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you just aim into the pot, and it's all, add some seasoning to the sauce, and make sure you don't burn it, and you're good.
So I
It
think we're
really is
gonna
pretty
have
easy.
a draft review by somebody. Worst comes to worst, it'll be me. I think I have Friday off. I'll do a little spiel. But was there anybody
Oh, sweet.
whose draft you felt was really good?
I liked yours.
Oh
I
wow.
also liked. Yeah, I mean, I thought yours was pretty good. I didn't. I have players in mind that I love, but I also whiffed hard on a few picks, and so like I'd give myself like maybe a C or a D. If any higher, it's only because it maybe one of my players, like the defensive tackle, and it will
Yeah,
end up being
Cooper.
like a stud, you know. But let's see, I like the. I mean, you can't go wrong with naming the Cardinals. They got the superstar quarterback. I mean, they gave up a lot to get there, but that inflates it a little bit. X got his quarterback. Tank got at least one slow, so that's about par for the course.
Of course.
I know Vikings was a letdown a little bit just from talking to him. I haven't really dug into his. I think Seahawks had a good draft. He's had a few good drafts here, so I
Yeah,
haven't really
hopefully he
dug.
starts putting it together, man.
I think he will, man. Strangely, the NFC West are like really good drafting teams right now. The last few seasons.
Well, and then the
So
49ers had that receiver that a lot of people were going nuts over.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think hopefully Lookout can do some things, and I mean, I don't want to spoil anything we're about to talk about in the near future, but yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna do better for sure compared to what he's been.
So do you know, did X edit the appearance of Sam Darnold to add like the Fu Manchu deal?
I don't know. I didn't honestly look at the quarterbacks too much this season because
Oh yeah,
well, I
you
had
had
Walford when
what's
I
his
was at the
face? Yeah.
Jets, and
Yeah,
then I
you
got
had Wolford,
Stafford
yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
so
for
I mean,
sure.
I really honestly and truly didn't look at the quarterbacks much this season, so I have no idea what they even look like. So
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I guess we'll move on to what everybody's here for. I think we have like three
all right.
viewers, so we'll see. Um, but okay, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the champion Bengals? Get them out of the way?
Yeah. Well, do
Or do you
you want to
want to
start out
end
with the
there?
best division, or
Oh,
I
okay, yeah,
mean,
we'll end with the AFC
yeah,
North. So where do we want to
because after
start?
that, everybody's gonna fall asleep on us, right? So.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go with the AFC East. I mean, we got a lot of newcomers.
Okay, AFC East. I'm going alphabetical, so we'll start with the Bills.
Okay, Bills. Well, I mean, I guess it all depends, and a lot of teams. It's all going to depend on how active the user is going to be. I
Yeah.
know Wonka and Brandon both say that they're going to be more active this year, and I hope so. As far as he goes, he's kind of unlucked into if that's even a word, into a rough division. I mean, it's still Shiny's division to lose. Brandon's a good user, and he's actually added some pieces to that roster. So I think the Bills kind of struggle, 5-11. He can definitely do better than that, but they also have a rough schedule. So
And not, yeah, I was just about
that
to
doesn't,
say, not to mention they play the NFC South, which has, two
yeah.
very good users and two very good teams, and then a team that was good.
But like I mean the AFC South and the NFC South. I mean that's kind of brutal. I mean you got LTH,
Yeah.
then of course you guys, and the Titans isn't a pushover either.
No,
So
yeah, that's
um,
exactly what I was just about to say is,
right. So and there might be a few scheduling mishaps along the way. So I just think 5-11, just being conservative on that, he can certainly do better. So
yeah. Oh, for sure. That makes sense. I mean, so who are his 5 wins then?
5 wins. I got him beating the Jets.
Oh, okay,
I was
yeah.
assuming a sim would happen. Yeah, I mean, I didn't give him both wins against the Jets because I was assuming a sim might happen along the way. So Jets, I got the Jags. More on that later. Texans, Saints, and I think he plays X and upsets him. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
Okay, moving down the list, I think we got the Dolphins next.
Yeah, Dolphins. So, this is totally respecting the user here. I've personally played Brandon, and I will say, he's the only person I've ever played in this game that has made me feel completely like useless. Like it didn't matter what I threw at him, what I call defensively, offensively, whatever. He shut it down. Now, granted, he had a great roster with the Patriots over in the fourth league.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I think over there he's been the number one seed every year in the AFC. I could be wrong. But anyway, long story short, I got him going 11-5. Dolphins getting a great season for the first time in our league, and actually pushing Shiny a little bit. Finally, Shiny gets a challenge, and it's really, I can't wait to watch these games because it's going to be exciting to watch. I really
So
hope
what is
he's
that,
active.
week 5 is their first game? Oh, no,
Let's
week
find out.
2.
I think week 2,
Week 2
yeah.
and
I know
week
they got
5.
one early. Yeah, so
Wow.
we'll be getting them out the way early.
Yeah, Brandon has a little bit of a gauntlet. Me, then Shiny, Falcons, so that'll be an interesting litmus test for both teams, I think. Week 3 against the Falcons, CPU, and then the Pats.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a fun ride this year. There's quite a few matchups I cannot wait to see. That's why, I don't know if you noticed in the scheduling threads, I've kind of pointed out,
games of the week. I like that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you posting those.
Well, you got to make sure Steak stays happy, man. I mean, he likes to yell at you for the scheduling. So
He does every year. Every year.
And that's something I hope to continue as we move forward. I didn't want to do one all the way out to week 6, like game of the weeks, because you never know how the season's going to play out. So as we get a week or two away from the scheduled week, I want to try to go in there and maybe add what I think the games of the week are, and something I just thought it'd be neat to something people can just tune into.
You mean what Madden selects as the primetime games isn't great? Because I was looking forward to the week 15 Thursday night matchup between the Dolphins and Saints.
Oh yeah, man,
that looked like one of the best games of the week.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll really quickly brush over any CPU teams, but Jets, what's their record?
2-14, just Bills and Saints getting the wins. It's probably gonna be 1-15 if the Bills is really active.
So you should take a point of pride here. The Jets have 5 primetime matchups this year, including 3 back-to-back Thursday night games with a follow-up Monday night game. 4 straight primetime games for these New York Jets.
Well, isn't that beautiful?
That's something.
Awesome.
That is something, all right.
I'm a little sad though. They signed Breeze, so I think Walford's going to have a lost year, and that sucks because he could really become a great QB.
Well, yeah. Chiefs was talking about how he ran all over him. I mean, not what you want your quarterback to be doing, but at the same time, you're like, okay.
Well, the dude has in the 80s juke move and spin move, man. I mean, he can definitely run. So,
yeah. But Jets have a tough schedule again. That AFC South, NFC South combo, and then,
Exactly. I mean, that's going to be a brutal schedule this year. And, I'm just going to go ahead and move on into Shiny here.
Oh, yeah,
I got him going
absolutely.
12-4. I mean, he still wins the division. But again, I think this is probably the lowest I've projected him. I think I normally do 13 or 14
Yeah, 13-3
wins
sounds about right.
Yeah, but I'm just giving respect to the record. I think he loses once to Brandon. I think he loses to LTH. I think he loses to you, and he'll admit that he's never beat the Bengals. So
that's 4 losses right there. So you're saying he beats the Panthers week 3 though?
I do think he beats the Panthers.
I would say both those games are 50-50s. Me and Panthers against him, so I understand that a lot. That's how I would do it. He's going to win one of those and lose the other one. Hopefully, I mean, I just know that week 17 game could be backup on backup between me and him.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. So and that would be fun. I mean, it'll be a fun game to watch. I mean, both your teams have depth, but good users. So. I think he's still going to win the division, guys. It's his to lose, but I think he's got a little bit closer race nowadays. So
4 primetime matchups. Oh, he does. Oh, he plays Bengals on the opening night.
Yeah, that first place schedule, man.
Yeah. I forget that's how it works, and that's the one thing Madden programmed correctly.
Right, yeah, and I'm happy because
the Super Bowl winner plays week 1, or plays the opening night week 1. It's oh, thanks, thanks EA. I'm glad we figured that out of the schedule. It doesn't matter that I'm gonna play all my fucking division games by week 12.
And hopefully they work on that next year because that does suck, man.
And
Like,
I'm not a computer programmer, but I understand logic. I've worked logic tables. This would not be a difficult fix for them. I get there's 10 other fixes, 20 other fixes I would rather them do, but this one would be so
right.
minimal to put into making a good schedule, to be perfectly honest.
But will it be minimal though? Because like we see simple changes and it goofs up something completely off the wall. Like it just shows how spaghetti the code is for
Yeah,
this
yeah,
game right
exactly. I
now.
mean, you'd hope because of, what is it? The last update, which had nothing, or I say the last update, a couple updates ago, the scouting got
Yeah.
fucked. And there was
Yes,
nothing to do
yes.
with scouting in the
Exactly.
update. So I would really like to say it wouldn't. It would not change it. But that's the thing that I don't get about the schedule is, I post those little pictures which are based off real life and it matches.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's
Right.
how it works, but they have that much in there. Maybe it would be too much to throw at it, but I don't know. It just bums me out,
I,
man.
I'm kind of hoping, man, they just at some point, I'm hoping it was this year that they kind of go ground up on something
I've
and
heard
do
I've heard
things.
things, but I'll see it
Yeah.
when I believe it.
Well, same here, man, because like some of the things they're saying, I feel like they're just throwing it out there to placate like franchise players on social
Okay.
media.
Yeah. So what are
So
we thinking? NFC East next? Like go AFC, NFC,
yeah, I
or
figured we
whatever.
do that, like
Yeah,
NFC or
that works.
AFC then NFC, same, direction, I guess you'd
So
say.
got the
So
Cowboys who just
yes.
missed last year, made an announcement, was amazed by the fact we have a Fortnite server now, or Fortnite group, but has
Right.
said he's coming back. Week 1 he plays his cousin. What is his final record?
That week one matchup, and I was happy that this matchup was happening this year anyway. I'm not sure we had it. We had to have had it year one, right? Or year two. I just don't remember watching the
one of the
game.
years they both had to win the division and absolutely play.
Yeah, well, that's true too. So yeah, we probably had it more than I've really just gave credit for. But I don't really remember sitting down watching the games between these two. But they're both amazing users. They're related. That's going to be a really cool matchup to see. I really hope Grits shows up. And as a whole, man, I hope he shows up this year. I had to give respect to that, him making the announcement, because originally I had the Cowboys not doing so well, thinking he wasn't going to be around.
Yeah. Which bummed
But
out, I think, everybody in the league. I don't think, I mean, I say I don't think anybody missed or didn't miss him. I think the NFC East was glad he didn't play. But
right,
everybody
yeah,
else, maybe Pixie was a little upset because he played like one of the 3 games he played last year was versus him. But other than
was
that,
Pixie, yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
everybody wanted that competition. I mean, everybody wants to get a little better, I think.
Well, exactly. Like you don't want to see good users go down. Well, you don't want to see any user go away, but especially quality users, like fun ones to watch every week. You don't want to see them go. And he screwed up my projections last year, so there's that.
Okay.
But
Bastard.
I know, right? But I got him going 12-4. Completely respecting the fact that hopefully he's going to be here.
And he had a top
Only
10 pick to work
losses.
with. I mean, I think it was a slow dev,
Yeah,
but that linebacker was a stud either way, man. He's a pretty good user too, so it doesn't even matter about the slow
yeah,
dev.
exactly. And like, did he make the draft? I didn't. I don't
I think he
remember
did.
seeing
I
him.
think he was at the
Did he? Okay,
draft. I
gotcha.
might be mistaken because like I want to say the linebacker that he picked was not like slated top 10. I think he was like a late first, but he
Oh,
went and
okay.
picked him, and it was a 20. Wait, he's 21 too. I think one of the few 21-year-olds this
Oh,
draft.
nice. Well, at the
So
very least, it
yeah.
shows he set up his board, which is, I mean, that shows he was active a little bit, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, promising signs, and I hope he's here, man. Yeah, I got him losing to the Panthers, week
Okay,
one,
he
apparently.
needs to shake off the rust
Um,
for sure.
yeah, exactly. And then I got the Redskins actually splitting with him,
Okay.
and I didn't know. I kind of I had to find more losses for him in a way, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I also didn't know like if he's gonna be late showing up, or there might be some hiccups along the way. So I had the Eagles kind of sweeping them.
Okay.
I know Narwhal's a decent user, so but
Yeah,
I
it'll be
mean,
interesting
if
to.
he's here all
Yeah.
year, it'd be interesting to see the games. So
The Cowboys have a ton of, or I say a ton. They feel like they have a ton of early season primetime matchups too. 3.
oh yeah, nice.
But yeah. Yeah, and he
And the
plays.
schedule's not
Oh,
the
he plays the
roughest.
whole NFC South.
So
Oh, okay. NFC South plays the
yeah.
NFC East. I didn't realize. Okay.
But you know, I think he finished what, third in the division last season, third or fourth. I think it
Third.
was third.
Had to be
And
third. I think the Giants picked ahead of him.
okay, so he's got the third place schedule. I mean, you know, it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, he can definitely shake off the rust this season.
Yeah. Absolutely. So moving down. So Eagles, Narwhal, new user, obviously.
Yeah, see, and this was another one I had. I had the Eagles originally before he joined. I had this division done on my projections, and I had him doing a lot worse because you know CPU. You know, after B3 left or was gone, I've had to change some things around. I got him going 7-9. It's no shot at him. I know he's a decent user.
Yeah. And he's a good roster.
Great roster. Well, a good roster. I mean, I think it's a little bit of an older roster now.
And there's some holes,
There's some holes that I think, don't hold me to this, but I think there might be some salary troubles along the way or in the near future.
Yeah.
So he's definitely got his work cut out for him, but he should enjoy this year. He's got a tough division, and he's playing NFC South this year. So 7-9, I think he can certainly do better. But right now, that's where I got him.
Yeah, a realm of possibility for sure. Yeah. Okay, moving down. The Giants is next. Are next.
Yeah, Giants. I really like the Giants guy. The little bit I've seen of him play in both leagues.
I just played him in another league. Yeah, in the other league today, and it was a tight contest until half, and then he kind of got maddened. Like I had two holding penalties in one drive on offense, and I didn't skip a beat. And then he had a face mask call. It was like, oh, okay. But no, it was a good game.
Yeah, and he's got his work cut out for him on that roster. I got him going 500 this year, going 8-8. Losses to I actually got Pixie beating them.
So the 7-9 Eagles are fourth place in the NFC East.
Right. Yeah.
I did not realize that was the way that was going. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's
one of the full divisions. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give respect to the users, and I like the users in this division. The Redskins, which we'll be going over next, he's really impressed the heck out of me since he joined, and he's one of my favorite users in the league now.
Oh, wow. But yeah, so 8-8 for the Giants, huh? So are they splitting a lot of the division? Well, I think with the previous mention, he gets swept by boys.
Yeah, I got him getting swept by the Grits, and I've got him getting swept by the Skins. I've got him beating the Eagles twice. I've got him beating the Saints. I've actually got him with the upset against you.
Okay, fair enough.
I got him beating the Broncos and the Chargers, beating the Niners, and I got him beating me. So I mean that's 8 wins right there, and I mean big losses to I guess the Panthers, the Falcons, Raiders, who's a tough user. Yeah. Chiefs, who I mean, you never know who's going to show up with the Chiefs, man. I mean, he's hot and cold.
It definitely seems like he's either gets into his flow or I don't want to say he crumbles, but the flow it just doesn't click. It either clicks or it doesn't click.
And it's not really a great comparison, but he's almost like a really high-powered like spread offense in the college, where like clicking and firing.
I don't want to say it's a bad
cylinders,
comparison.
Okay, well, cool. I appreciate that. But like when he's firing on all cylinders and things are working, like it's nice. Like I've seen him make plays with his quarterback, so just like made me jealous.
Well, game 1 and 2 of him and Raiders is the first game when him and Raiders played. He won like 55-40, and then second game it was like 35-14 that he lost.
Right, exactly.
It's just embellic of what you're saying with the I think it's a good example, man. Yeah, and it'll be interesting. That. He has a new line. He drafted, I think, 2 or 3 offensive linemen. He put up a couple on the block, so I think he's looking to start him.
Oh yeah, underrated draft too, man. Like I think he did great. And I think he made a comment today that he was excited with his draft. So, and I agree. I mean, he quietly, didn't make no moves in the craziness, and he just stuck to his guns and picked his picks. So.
Well, that's some simple. You look at the Packers in real life. Are the Packers making crazy moves in free agency? Are they making crazy trades? No. But Ted Thompson would take him to the draft, give him a serviceable roster.
There you go.
I think the coaching should have been changed a long time ago. But, and that's not
I
just
agree.
Dom Capers. I think offensively, too, to have Aaron Rodgers and do that poorly is,
Yeah, it's kind of atrocious. But I mean,
yep.
you gotta love it and hate it with the Packers too, man. Though, like, because they're like the Steelers, they stick with their guy. Thick and thin. They're just not a quick trigger fire on any coach.
Exactly, and that's good and it's bad. I think I like that the Steelers do that. I think Mike Tomlin is a way better coach than a lot of people give him credit. A lot of people are like, well, what has he done and stuff. And you look at the coordinators that have walked out the door on him, at least at the offensive end. Still produced. The defenses didn't really the defense got a lot of injuries. Was a year before, and it still produced without Dick LeBeau, which is huge because Dick LeBeau was the Steelers' defense.
Exactly, the vacuum that had to have been left when Dick LeBeau left.
And, there are some guys who don't need to be great coordinators or have these schemes. If they're just a leader of men or know how to organize stuff, just a good manager. That has value in and of itself.
I just think his teams play, and it's a really good thing. It's like the Seahawks, man. They play emotional, and it's
good and it's bad.
I mean, exactly. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. When they're riding high and everything's clicking, it's beautiful. But
I don't know if X is still watching, but John Harbaugh is probably a top 5 coach in the league. He doesn't get enough credit for that. Talking to AFC North head coaches, that's what I think.
Right. Well, and I think I just like that. For the most part, that whole division, the owners are not quick trigger, except for the Browns. The Browns are the definition.
And they just turned a corner. I mean, keeping Hugh Jackson after 1-31 is literally the definition of not quick trigger.
Exactly. It's almost, I hate to bring up my own team, but the Jags, they stuck with Gus Bradley. Everybody wanted him gone after the second year, and they stuck with him for another season. Just to give him a shot. I think that helped him a lot.
It's as a Denver fan, a lot of people were calling for John Elway to fire Vance Joseph, and the counterpoint is, well, if he fires Vance Joseph, who wants to come here? You fired John Fox after a playoff berth. Your last coach retired, then Vance Joseph comes in. You give him a year, and it's with a whole new staff. It's like. Yeah, so I got it from the political standpoint, and internal NFL politics. You gotta keep a guy.
Exactly.
And I love Shad Khan. What Shad Khan has done for Jacksonville is amazing.
Oh, dude, I could sing Shad's praises for days, man. It's been an amazing ride. I mean, even during the bad years, we just had this really cool, awesome owner. A lot better than the Weaver family, which owned them before. They were just happy the team existed, So I know we're getting on a tangent. I do want to say, going back to Pittsburgh, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Todd Haley away from the Steelers. He's with where'd he go? The Browns. I'm excited to see what he does there, but I'm also excited to see the Steelers without Todd Haley and Big Ben.
I'm more excited for the latter because we saw Todd Haley with Matt Castle.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to sing Matt Castle's praises, but that offense was not doing hot.
Right. Yeah, I got you. But that was as a head coach though, right? So
yeah, that was as a head coach.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that are better as a coordinator than a head coach.
Wade Phillips, whatever, Romeo Crennel.
I know he's probably going to get another shot soon, especially if Cleveland starts succeeding now that he's there. But I think there's been more friction between him and Big Ben than even we've found out through the media, so that's going to be interesting to see.
NFL quarterbacks don't like being murdered week in and week out. But anyway, that tangent was brought to you by Owens Corning Fiberglass. And moving on, so we got one more NFC East team. What are we thinking for the Redskins? This is the second team in the division.
Yes, I got them finishing second in the division. I actually had them winning the division back-to-back years before Grits made his announcement.
That's right, he won the division. Good job on Redskins. Yeah. I forgot about that. He pulled it off with beating me in Week 17.
Yeah, that's right. Which is I know you hated the game, but it was a shocking game. Nobody really expected the outcome.
I don't hide. Maybe I am bad at Madden, but it's like I lose games that I shouldn't. and I win games that I should. Like I just seem to get lucky or unlucky in spots, and it is what it is. And I wonder if I get in my own head or what it is. But no, he played well though. It's not like he didn't deserve to win. I just don't feel like I didn't deserve to lose, but it is what it is. Just like in the playoff game with the Cardinals, that was a fucking tough pill to swallow. But got to put up. If you don't put up more than 30 points. Are you really, I'm not trying to say everybody should aim for 30 points, but like seriously, with an offense, like, hey, 30 points, then you can be like, okay, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Gotta get into the end zone to win games.
And you mentioned the playoff game. I do want to say like this is probably the best year of playoffs we've had. Like all the games are really enjoyable to watch. There wasn't, a bunch of blowouts. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, they were just. I remember them being really enjoyable.
Right, yeah,
to watch,
at least outside of the first round. But I mean, that happens.
Yeah, the first
and I don't want to say if there were
so.
blowouts. I just can't remember. I just know after the first round.
I know the Super Bowl was a little bit more of a point spread than I thought it would be, but and I also think that was a lot of late scoring, if I remember right. So
yeah,
I was peeking in and out. So. But I got him going. His key losses, I guess, would be Panthers, Bucks, Cardinals. I've actually got Togs beating him, and the Raiders, and Giants and Cowboys. But I mean, they got a rough schedule. He's got the first place schedule. So
wow, so he's going to come out 1-3 out of the gates from your projections.
Yeah, and I mean, we might see a similarity to the Raiders last year. Rough out the gates, but kind of right the ship and finish strong. So.
Oh yeah, and even then, the Chiefs is no slouch coming. Like
Not
we were just saying.
Like I do expect that to be a close game between those two. And I'm really interested to see how he goes with his offense.
And I think the Redskins is winning with 6 primetime games.
Oh man!
Right?
So
like I get it. It's a big market. It's a big market, Madden. It's a big market.
Right. That's crazy.
But yeah, so I guess we've talked a lot about the South, so let's flip gears and go to the NFC South. We've talked a bunch. NFC, and then we'll go AFC, and then we'll do the West, and then the North. But so alphabetically. Right. Oh, it's it is me. Okay, Buccaneers. Oh boy.
All right, man. I got you right out the gate. Not a 14-2 record like I had you last year.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah, I mean, you got a little bit rougher schedule this year, but I mean, it's not too much of a dip. Again, you had a good draft. You've held on to your talent well. 12-4.
12-4. So split with Panthers as per the tradition.
I've actually got you losing to the Panthers twice.
Ouch.
Year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect. I just I don't know. I got a funny feeling about him this season. But I do have you sweeping Pixie, and I got you, of course, sweeping the Saints.
Well, man, they got a quarterback now. I don't know if I can manage that. Luckily, all the games are before week 12, so at least he's not developed any.
There you go. I mean, I got you. Your losses. I think the Giants beat. Kind of pulled the upset.
Yeah. You mentioned, so that's 3 losses right there. Yeah.
Just like you tend to have like we talked about the Redskins game last year. I think you had the year before you lost to my brother randomly. And Togs.
No, yeah. I think this past season was the first time I beat him. I lost to him 2 times before that.
Right. And I know he always played you tough, man. Like that playoff game was even close. So,
it was way closer than the score reflected. I just had a lot of explosive plays.
Right, I got you. Yeah. So and then I got you losing to Grits, the Cowboys. So
no, fair enough. I think I mean we used to Madden 17. We're in the same division, and I was starting to climb on him, and then we rebooted, and I got the fuck out of there. to be honest, he's a good user, and then like this year, I think I've beat him once. I can't say for sure, but he's definitely had my number more so than vice versa. That's a good call. Yeah, it'll be interesting. So, 12-4. I mean, could be 12-5. That Pats game is definitely one I have circled on the schedule.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a lot closer than the year 1 game. I think that was kind of a blowout, wasn't it?
No. Actually, we came down. It was a shootout, and then we disconnected in the last 2 minutes. And so it got
I got
simmed.
you.
There was a force win, and then he won in a blowout. But
I got you. I
no,
got you.
he won both times, obviously, or in both versions. But yeah, it'll be a good game. Like if our starters are playing, but I don't think. I think he'll have a lot less to play for than me.
Right, I got you. And no X. I meant no disrespect with what I was saying there. I hope nobody took it that way.
No, this is
I
for
don't
fun,
know.
man.
Yeah.
So moving down,
Um,
we got Falcons. Everyone's favorite Pixie.
Pixie, got him going 8-8. I
Eight
think
and eight.
he's yeah. The schedule's a little bit tougher than it was last year. And he did a little bit better than I thought he would last year. I think I had him going what 6-10 or 7-9, and I think he actually went 8-8 if I'm not
I thought he
mistaken.
went 9-7. I
Oh,
think
did
he
he go
went.
nine
He
and
went
seven?
above
Okay, yeah, yeah.
500. I want to say.
Oh, okay, cool. So, even better. He did better than I thought he would. Just barely missed the playoffs, right? Came down to the last
Oh
week.
yeah, yeah. It was.
Uh,
It's because he lost his game to the Eagles earlier in the year. I want to say that he missed out on
I
playoffs.
got you.
So it's direct tiebreaker.
Got you. Okay, yeah. And so, yeah, B3 got in. Yeah, I think he gets swept by the Panthers and the Bucks. So, I mean, that just puts him in the hole right there with 4 losses. He
Yeah.
beats the Saints twice. I don't think he beats Shiny. So there's 5 losses. Uh, Fortunately, he plays the Cowboys, so there's your sixth
Holy
loss.
smoke! 4 of his matchups are AFC East in a row.
Right. I mean,
Wow.
so it's a lot rougher of a schedule than he had last season, and I think Shackelford, I'm impressed with what he's done with Shaq, but he's still got room to grow, and his receiving core isn't what it once was. I mean, he's still got Julio, but an aging Julio. I meant to go look to see how his speed has regressed.
Yeah.
Um, but I never did. I can actually do that right now. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to win some games. But I just think it's the schedule this season that's hurting him, and I'll be interested to see how he grows from here. I know he's not happy with his draft, so I don't know how his young guys are going to be.
Yeah.
I guess Julio's still got a 90 speed, so Julio's still a beast, man.
Yeah,
So
and that
we'll see.
he won't drop further than that. Wide receivers and corners don't regress lower than 90 speed now.
That's right. See, I forgot about that. So, I mean, but that's like his only stud receiver. I mean, Perriman's no slouch, but I know a few years ago he had Julio and Hopkins,
Yep.
and he's had some stud receivers through the years. So I'm interested to see how he does.
Oh yeah, it will
I
be
mean,
interesting. So how do
yeah,
you
yeah.
think he does in the AFC East? So he's got Brandon week 3, Wonka
And
week
I think
6.
I think he actually and I think he beats Brandon. The roster outmatches Brandon,
Oh,
and
for sure.
yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying Brandon can't beat him, but I do think Pixie gets him there. I meant to go look to see when they do play. Um, I was kind of banking on it being early,
Yeah, it is early.
but yeah. So Jets, and I think he beats the Bills. I think he beat the only one he loses to is Shiny. So
Okay, not bad, not bad. And then we have Panthers next. Yeah, that's the
yeah,
alphabet.
Panthers. Here's your division winner right here.
Yeah,
14
sounds
and
about
2.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I got them losing to the Patriots, and I threw the Eagles in there as a possibility to
Okay,
lose.
good
So
roster.
I mean,
Yeah, could happen.
yeah, I mean, it's would I put money on that? No, but I do think he gets another loss in there somewhere. I don't think he goes 15-1. So
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
yeah,
enough. Okay, so AFC South, we start with the Colts, right? LTH.
yeah. Let's see, look at there. LTH, 14 and 2, man. I mean, they, I mean, it's LTH first of all, and I mean, I think his roster is better this year. I think he drafted pretty decent,
Right.
if I'm
Yeah, I
not
was gonna say
mistaken.
he stole a couple of my guys. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
so, and I think the only one in this division, and no disrespect to Titans, but I think the only one that could have given him a challenge is the Jaguars, and he hasn't joined yet. So
Yeah,
I don't know
I
how
don't
that's
know
going
what's
to
up with
go.
that, and I'm not hounding a
So
guy.
right, yeah. So I mean, I know he said he had trouble getting gold, PlayStation Gold back. So, I'm hoping. I mean, I've never known him to be one to flake. So, I mean, I'd like to think as soon as he gets up and running, he's going to be good. But anyway, I got LTH to sweep the division. So there's your 6 wins right there. I like his chances against the AFC East. I do have him losing to Wheezy, but he sweeps the rest of the
Okay.
NFC West, and I think he loses to the Bengals. I think
Oh,
Bengals
so
is
he
just
loses
man.
back-to-back weeks, week 14 and 15.
Oh wow, yeah. See, so but
I
like
mean, he
the
has a
Bengals, man. I
so
mean,
he
he's a
has the
monster. So
Raiders, Pats, Cardinals, and Bengals all in a row. And if we have the
wow.
Jags user, tack on the Jags at the beginning of that.
Right, yeah. So and I think he got, if I remember right, I mean it's been a few seasons when Totodile was in the league before. I think they played close, and I want to say they split. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
that's
Don't
what
hold
I
me to
would want
that,
to.
but
That's where I was gonna say too.
yeah. So that can definitely. I mean, he could. I mean, you're still looking at what 13-3 or 12-4. So, but I mean, you gotta give respect to LTH, especially an engaged LTH
Yeah. Oh
if
yeah.
he's fully engaged this year. So.
Okay. So then we have the Jags. So I presume this is kind of a situation where you weren't sure about the user.
Exactly. Like when I thought he was definitely going to be here, I had him a little bit higher. But I didn't want to, with the questions, I didn't want to completely assume CPU either. He might just be missing half the season or maybe just a few weeks of the season. So I got him going 7-9. And that could easily change with the how things go with him coming in. I got him getting swept by the Colts and the Titans. The only team I got him beaten is the Texans, which if those are Sims, I think the Texans, that roster that Togs built isn't a slouch. So he could lose those as well. But he plays the Jets. That's a win. The Niners is going to be a win. Rams is a win. I got him upsetting the Steelers a little bit, but that was I was thinking maybe that might be mid-season, late season. He might be back, and so he could win that. The Chiefs possible win there. So, but yeah, 7-9.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. So then we have Titans. I think or no, it's Texans then Titans. So Texans CPU.
Yeah, Texans CPU. With Togs leaving them, built a good roster. So even as a CPU, I got him getting 4 wins. Um,
Okay.
that's Jets. I mean, but it's all against other CPU teams. It's
Yeah, for
Jets,
sure.
Niners, Rams, and Broncos. So, and I mean Rams. I mean, he might show up out of the blue. So, but
Oh yeah, maybe. Okay. So
yeah.
next up, Titans. Oh,
Titans, second place in the division. I think he actually kind of rights the ship a little bit. I know he's been kind of a little down the last few seasons. I think he's finally getting a little bit of a roster like he wanted. I'm not too sure what his vision was for his team, but I know like he got away from Mariota. I think he's finally found his way with is it Finley? This is quarterback.
yeah, Finley is his
Um,
quarterback.
yeah, it seems like every time I peek in on him as he's playing, um, just like Togs never left. Come on, Tank, that's not funny.
As he
Um,
laughs, as he laughs,
yeah.
that's all funny.
But I mean, every time I peek in on a game he's playing better with Finley. Like he played Pixie earlier today in a preseason game, and that was actually a pretty fun game to watch. He actually drove down late and won the game. I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
granted that wasn't Finley, I guess, because they were preseason, but um, I got him going 10-6. Which I think might be it either matches his best season here or it'll be his best season in the
Yeah, in
HOFL.
Madden
So
18, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. So
just for a quick insight, he is down 40-7 at the half versus the Colts.
ooh, well, I mean, I got him losing both of those games. I mean,
Yeah.
him and LTH. I mean, that's always been one-sided. I mean, a lot of people are one-sided against LTH, granted. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So let's
yeah,
move on to the AFC West. So we have the Broncos CPU.
yeah, 1-15. The CPU Sim against the
You're
Chargers.
saying their offseason moves didn't make them better?
I mean, I don't get what the whole deal was with the quarterback and what did they pick? They picked the receiver for no, they didn't pick
No,
the
they went
receiver
running
first. They
back.
picked the
Superstar running back
running
who's pretty
back.
legit, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and watch. Do I think I play him? I don't think I play them, But if I played him, the running back would go for like 400 yards against me, I'm sure. So, but
Yeah, Broncos play
yeah, I
the
mean,
NFC East.
yeah, NFC East, and so like I can see a few users having trouble against them, but I mean, it's you. I never really give an edge to CPU over a user, and I say that as I have them beating the Chargers once, but I know is it Ob? I think he has
Yeah.
trouble getting his games in sometimes. I'm hoping it's better this year. I'd love to see him more engaged this season. Um, but I just figured there'd be a sim along the way, and I had to find. I didn't want to make a team go 0 and 16, so
Yeah, oh no, never want to do that to a team.
right. So and everybody else he plays is, I mean, it's users. So I
Yep.
mean, they honestly
So,
have a brutal schedule. Like
oh yeah.
if somebody was a user with the Broncos, I wouldn't predict a better record. Well, I would a little bit better, but not too much better.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, so Chargers,
um,
how do
yeah.
they do?
Uh, again, man, the AFC West has a tough schedule. They play the AFC North and the NFC East. So I got him going 3-13. Winning against the Broncos, Eagles, and Bills. And then it's just a tough schedule, man.
Oh
And
yeah.
so no disrespect to him. I think he when he plays, he's actually. I mean, it looks like they're fun games at times. So I hope definitely hope he
Well,
comes
and as
in
long
and
as you
proves
get
me wrong.
better each season or whatever, you're making strides the right way.
Exactly. So I do know he's got some questions this year with Blackson and Welch. I mean, it's their contract seasons. What is he gonna do?
I hope he
So
re-signs them. That would be interesting to see them on the free agent market, but hope he signs them.
yeah, yeah. Me too. I mean, that's Blackson's definitely a good QB, and I really liked Welch. So
Yeah.
he torched me as a Jets. I mean, I lost that CPU game because of Welch.
Oh yeah, just that
So
speed cheese.
yeah, I mean he blew the top off of cover three. It killed me, man. Like they were on his own 2 yard line and just bombed it down to Welch and scored a touchdown to take the lead and the win. So
Very nice. Okay, so
I'm a little
Chiefs.
scarred.
Talked a
Chiefs,
lot about them.
yeah, and I mean I like Nost. I think that's how I've always said his name, Nost or
Yeah,
Nosti
like
or
Ghost
whatever.
with an N instead of the H. Yeah.
Yeah. I got him going 7-9. And that's mainly because of the brutal schedule they have. I think the Raiders has his number a little bit. Other than that, he sweeps the division. But I got him getting swept by the AFC North, and I've got him beating the Eagles and the Giants in the NFC East, and then he winning the CPU game against the Jets. But and I know he's capable of, like, at least flipping that to be 9-7.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean he's definitely capable of winning the division even.
I feel like
That's
the
a rough
predictions are
schedule.
like give or take 2 wins. I think that's not a crazy assumption.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't envy him on the schedule this year. That's brutal.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
that is a tough schedule. So moving on to the Raiders, division
yeah,
winner,
Raiders.
right?
Yeah, division winner. I guess repeat division winner now for my prediction.
Opens up
11 and
Steelers and
5.
Bengals. Dang. Oh, 11-5. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I got him going 11-5. I got him beating. I'm winning. I guess I got him winning week one against the Steelers. Definitely losing to Bengals. I got Tank beating them. No disrespect, Dax. I got you losing to him. He sweeps his division, so I mean that's 6 wins
That's
right
six
there.
wins plus 2 in
Yeah,
the AFC North. Yeah.
right. And I got him getting the Redskins, Eagles, and Giants. So, but other than that, man, he's got the Patriots and the Colts to deal with, the Cowboys,
Yeah.
Bengals. So those are rough.
Yeah, not for the faint of heart. Now moving on to our
Exactly.
NFC Conference Championship winner, right? The Cardinals.
The Cardinals, yeah. Let's get there.
I think he went 15 and
Where we
1
at?
last season, right?
Yeah, and man, I waited honestly to finish this division to see how his draft ended up because going into the draft, the man had no QB.
Yeah.
And that's huge. I mean, we saw in the Super Bowl and a little bit in the championship game, how much that QB meant. Ryan with that IR bug. I hate that happened.
Yeah.
So But no, I mean, he got a stud at QB, man, and he's a great user. I got him repeating at 15-1. Only lost to the Panthers.
Okay, who he
So
beat last year, who handed Panthers one of his few losses.
right, and I think it was actually a one-sided affair, if I remember right. But I mean, the Panthers, I like some of the moves they made. Um, I just, and I honestly I had to find a loss for him too, you know. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think it goes 15-1. He's
And he ties the Washington Redskins with 6 primetime games.
oh wow, well deserved. I
Right?
mean,
Yeah, it
he's
makes sense.
yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. I play him this year. I'm not looking forward to it. I'll say that.
Fair enough. Fair
He
enough.
beat me pretty handily last year. I think last year was the first time I ever played him, and lived up to the hype. That's for sure. His defensive usering is pretty astounding. Um, yeah, and I mean he takes the division every year. I mean that's 6 wins
Yeah.
there. Even with the Rams user, who was actually really competitive to everybody but Wheezy,
Yeah, I don't know
which
what
is
was
crazy
happening
to
in
me.
those games.
I don't know. It's almost like Wheezy saw his playbook or something. Because I mean, the Rams beat like Pixie really handily, but
Beat
like
me.
got yeah, beat you and got he beat you pretty good if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, a two or three
Um,
score affair.
right, yeah. So it was really crazy to me that he at least couldn't give more of a game to Wheezy. But yeah, got him repeating, man. 15-1.
Fair enough.
Will be interesting to see
Okay, so
who's
after
next.
Chargers, or Cardinals, I got Niners CPU.
Niners, yeah, CPU, two CPU sim wins, two and 14, basically.
2 and
So
14. Alrighty.
yeah,
And then I got Rams.
Rams, I'm assuming CPU again,
Yeah,
3 and 13.
fair enough.
I've actually got me losing to them. I tend to have that was my one game I figured I'd get my CPU loss in. I lose a CPU game a year at least, so I figured with Gronkowski and Garoppolo on that team, I might struggle. So
Fair enough. And then finally, look out the Seahawks.
look out. Kitty corner lookout. I got him going 8-8, man. He's been climbing up. He's getting better. I think he stripped his roster that one year, and that was really the root. I mean, that was really the root of a lot of his issues. You
A
know,
lot of his
he had
struggles,
no
yeah.
quarterback. Yeah, I mean, he had like a fourth string quarterback starting essentially. You know, I think he had Boykin for a while, Kaepernick for a
Yeah,
while.
that sounds about right.
I mean, it was pretty rough. So I got him. He actually wins in his division aside from Wheezy. So there's 4 wins right there. I got him beating the Bears and the Packers.
So you have him
Jaguars,
losing to the Vikings.
do have him losing to the Vikings.
Live
Yeah.
look in. Vikings just scored a touchdown to only be down by 7 with 30
Oh
seconds
man,
left.
really,
No timeouts for the Vikings. Yep.
you let me down, Togs. You let me down. But well, and granted, you know, Togs, he's not used to that team yet.
Oh yeah, he might
So
rebound for sure.
yeah, and look out, he's built a good squad. I like what he's done move wise. Yeah, so 8-8, it's respectable. He could like again, like we mentioned, he can go plus or minus 2 wins.
Is that his best
Might
record since the first year?
I think it will be. I know first year he made the playoffs. Everybody's
Yeah.
proud of him. Yeah, I think that would be his best record since the first year.
And you play him in prime time, week 7.
Do I? Nice. I got him. I think I got him beating me. No, I actually got me squeaking that out. So
Okay.
no disrespect,
Moving.
man. So
Okay, so that's the NFC West done. So moving on to the
yeah,
NFC North, the Bears. The Bears.
the Bears. Let me get there. NFC North Bears. I got him doing. I got him going 7-9. Um, since he's been in the league, he's hovered around 8-8, 7-9. I think he had a 9-7 season where he went to the playoffs.
Yep.
I've essentially got. I got him beating me twice. I just like his roster compared to mine a lot better. I got him beating the Packers twice, and I got him and Tog splitting. So there's your 5 wins right there, and then Rams and Niners. There's 2 more wins. We don't have an easy schedule this year. I mean we got the AFC North, and the NFC West, so we got to play Wheezy and Lookout. But he's also got I think what second or third place schedule? Got to be third place.
Is it third place?
With
Okay.
Yeah, because he's playing
No, it's second
Falcons and
place.
Cowboys. Is it second place? That's must be where Daddy Leagues lied to me.
Because he plays me.
Oh, does he? Okay. Yeah, see, I had him playing Pixie. I think Daddy Leagues lied to me a little bit there. That's where it messed me up. This
Yeah,
is
he
one of the
plays the
earlier
Eagles in the
divisions I did.
NFC East. No Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, I had him losing to Pixie too. So
Yeah.
I mean, he loses to you or Pixie. And I had him losing to the Cowboys. So
Fair enough.
yeah, 7-9. Uh, who would be next?
Lions.
B, I
It's you.
guess?
What do you think you're gonna
Yeah,
be?
Lions. I think I go 6-10, man. I got a lot to
Wow.
learn. Yeah, I mean, I like there's pieces of my roster I like. I love my new running back. But there's gonna be growing pains with my new offense. It's completely newly built offense. I got less than 5 games in with it. A new team to learn, everything, and I'm going against. I think Togs is going to give me a handful. That team he's got is really good, and he's done great on offense, man. So, I'm not too sure about my D. So yeah, I got me losing to Togs. I get swept by the Bears. I lose to everybody in the North. I lose to Wheezy and the Rams and the Giants. So
Alrighty then. It's pretty depressing.
yeah, but I mean, it's I just know there's gonna be growing pains, man, and
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, odds are, I mean, every year I finish 7-9, 9-7, or 8-8, so I might
Yeah.
probably pull 7-9 out of my hat, but we'll see. And so
Okay.
Packers CPU 1
Yeah.
and 15. And I know people are going to give me flack for this, but I got Togs winning the division, man. 9-7. It's going to be his first playoff berth. And I mean, I guess we're holding true to the NFC North, where like 9-7 wins it. You know, everybody hovering around 8 or 500. And I just think Togs is getting better. Every year we watch him, he's getting better.
Yeah.
I think he had one season, what was it, late last year or the year before, he just kind of got frustrated. He thought should be better than he was. And I know how that sounded. I really didn't mean that as a shot. His offense has really progressed. His defensive, me and you have talked about his defensive play calling. We need to work on that. And I think he can really do a lot of great things. He's got a good roster. My brother actually left him a decent roster.
Yeah.
So I think he goes to the playoffs this year, man. So
Good for him. Nice. Thanks.
yeah.
Okay. Bengals, Super Bowl champion.
Let me get there. AFC North Bengals, 14-2. I think Tank tends to pull off an upset somehow against the
No,
Bengals.
yeah, they usually split for sure.
Yeah, so he's gonna lose one of those. And the Steelers, man, the Steelers plays him tough every time, and they're really. If you haven't seen these two play each other, you need to. They're a really good, fun game to watch, and I'm looking forward to their next matchup. I
And
really
they
am.
have
That
7
playoff game was
primetime
insane.
matchups this year. That's the
Yeah.
new leader. Makes sense.
That's crazy. I mean, hey, he's Super Bowl champ, man. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, 14-2, man. It's another year of dominance. It's crazy because I thought this would be the year he kind of fell off a little bit because he was losing Dalton. I knew he
Yeah.
wouldn't resign him. I didn't know he was going to do it receiver, but he's just reloaded. He's good. So,
Yeah.
and his
yeah.
team is like trained up really well. He's got a magic touch with the roster, man. He's done good. So
And he gets the most out of a lot of guys.
he really does. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to Tank and the Browns.
Old Tank Willis, 10-6. He and most certainly capable of doing a lot better, and that's for anybody in this division. I think any of the 4 members in this division can go on a swing and win it, or finish last. I mean, it's crazy how competitive this division is. I've got him losing to X. Him and X tend to
That
split.
probably splits the whole division, right?
Yeah. Essentially, I've got him split in the whole division.
Yeah.
I've got him losing to the Raiders. I've actually got Togs upsetting him, and I got him losing to Brandon, the Dolphins.
That should
Um,
be a pretty good game, week 11.
yeah, I think so. I'm really interested to see that game. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely got the squad. He's got a QB now. It's gonna be fun to see how he does. And
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
excited.
Yeah, I mean, there should be a little bit of growing pains with that new QB, but for sure, should be interesting to see him with his guy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, moving
So
on to X and the Ravens, right?
X and the Ravens. I'm not disrespecting X like I did last year. He goes 9-7. I mean, I guess I hope he doesn't take that as a slap in the face. He's got his new QB. I'm really excited for him on that. He doesn't have to deal with Flacco anymore. And saying what crap. Um,
And he has 6
I
primetime
really
games too. That's crazy.
that is insane.
Him, Washington, and
Um,
Arizona.
wow. Um, So yeah, I mean, it's I think I'm excited to see how he does with the QB, but I know he's gonna have some growing pains. I'm assuming he'll have growing pains, and he's just in a rough division, man. That's all it is.
And he'll never
If he was
leave.
in India, yeah, I mean, he's a Ravens fan through and through. I admire the heck out of that. I mean, heck, anybody else, I don't know how they would have handled Flacco. So he's done an amazing job. I mean, he's been in the playoffs pretty much every year with that squad. So he's yeah. I think he's even. I mean, he's more than capable of winning it all too. So, um, again, man, I can't stress enough. It's going to be a fun division to watch.
Yeah. And then
And you
Steelers.
got the two Rugrats fighting in chat right now.
Yep. I noticed.
Steelers, man, this has got to be one of my favorite new users. I really like the Steelers a lot. He's a quality user from day one. He's stuck around with us. I've talked to him. I think he's loving the league, which is amazing. I love how he's kind of just ingratiated himself into this division and just gotten along into the rivalries with Tank, and he gives Bengals all he can handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got him going 12-4. He splits with the Browns. I think he beats X twice, but I mean, certainly that could be a swing in either direction. Splitting with the Bengals. I got him losing to the Raiders, and maybe the Jaguars will be back, and the Jaguars can beat him. Otherwise, I mean, there's a host of games he could lose.
I'm not
You
sure if
know.
you saw Tank posted that he got a DM from Jags today saying he
Oh,
would be
really?
back by week 4 time because he's in Hawaii right now.
Oh, nice. Very nice. That's exciting. Like I really want good users in the league. So cool. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
So that's an update on that. So, yeah, it should be a fun year. So you have for your division winners, it's Bengals in the north, Pats in the east, south is LTH, west is Oakland. Who are your
Yep.
two wild cards then in the AFC?
Wild cards are Steelers, 12-4, fifth seed. Sixth seed will be Dolphins at 11-5, sneaking in the playoffs.
The Dolphins. Oh wow, that's over
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Only two
Uh,
AFC North teams, huh? In the
yeah.
playoffs.
And I mean, hey, Tank, prove me wrong, buddy. Get into the playoffs, make some noise. I hope you do. So it's exciting with you in the playoffs, for sure. So, yeah, fifth and sixth seed Steelers and Dolphins. I got one seed to be Bengals, two
Yeah.
seeds Colts,
Okay.
three seeds the Patriots, and the fourth seed is the Raiders. So that makes Steelers Raiders in the wild card. Patriots Dolphins in the wild card.
Yeah.
And so you want me to go through the AFC playoffs? How I'll see them happening?
No, I think that's enough. I mean,
Okay.
leave some mystery.
Okay. All right. NFC.
And then NFC.
I got first seed is Wheezy, Cardinals. Second seed will be the Panthers.
Yep, naturally.
Yeah. Third seed Cowboys and Vikings bringing up the rear in the fourth seed. Buccaneers fifth seed, 12-4. Redskins sixth seed, 10-6.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of double-digit wins in the playoffs. That'll be Good times, good group.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so that means we got a Vikings-Buccaneers matchup. That's eerily similar to last year.
Yep.
And Cowboys-Redskins wild card matchup.
Yeah.
So.
No, should be a good season.
Heck yeah, man! I'm really excited for this year. I just it's going to be a really fun year. I just feel it. So a lot of great matchups. Looks like it's brewing, and yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, I'm either playing tonight or tomorrow, so that should be, tune in to the Dolphins Bucks. Little
Heck yeah!
action on the peninsula.
There you go. Dolphins aren't a walkover anymore, so which heck they never have been, man. The CPU's been crazy. So
For sure. Well, I guess we'll all the predictions are done, so call it a wrap
yeah,
right there.
that's it. I appreciate you having me on, man. This
Oh
was
yeah.
fun.
I mean, as
So
long as I get the questions, guys, I'll keep doing the talk show. The issue is when I get like 2 questions. I'm not gonna do. I know I have the generic ones pinned, but it's like, I can't do it with no info. But yeah, I'm definitely down. Thanks for coming on, Wookie. But yeah.
yes, sir.